Well, I have to wait about a week until I can haul out and do further work on the engine, so I decided to dedicate myself a bit to electrical stuff. And lots of these are actually not in use, and also there's a lot of corrosion. But since these guys are really expensive, I'm just gonna take it out, clean it, and then put it back together, hopefully a little bit more in order than it is now. And in the meantime, Maria has been trying to get this little boy back to life.
Didn't want to go this time.
Oh, coming!
Come on, baby.
So we have to go through the back roads of Panama City instead of paying the toll of the expensive road. Saves us $2 at least. Oh, and we're on our way to the distributor walk which sells metal, because we need to buy some aluminum material for the engine mounts. The metal shop was a real boat owner's paradise, and we found everything we needed for changing Karl's engine bed. We needed two 2-inch thick and 4-inch wide aluminum bars for extending the engine bed forward, aft, and towards the inside, plus some small bits to support the bars in the front. And we also got a big pipe to move the engine around inside Karl's belly. The costs were about $160 in total. And of course the cab driver was super stoked when we loaded all of our goodies into his car. The last challenge was to get everything safely to Karl in my one-person kayak, but we even managed to take that hurdle. We wanted to be able to move the engine around once it was inside Karl's belly, so we could try out our changes with the engine sitting on top of it before finally welding everything to the hull. So we installed a little temporary pipe system which will come in handy for any future engine projects too. Then it was time for another thorough degreasing of the engine department, and after some struggles with customs, it was finally the day that Big Red would be released and ready for pickup. Since the marinas around would be charging $180 to $220 for using the crane, I had looked for a cheaper option. And luckily the crew of Panama divers were willing to help me to move Big Red from the truck to their garage with some massive chain falls. Well, we're having a little engine is finally out of customs party here. Okay, people give us a cheer! Yay! Salud! Two Big Red. Two Big Red. He has to stay here until tomorrow, and at high tide we can pick him up.
She left us with the camera. what I used to do with cameras out of time.
The next day around high tide, we moved Big Red down to the waterfront where we opened up the massive box and I got to take a first peek at my brand new engine. It was pretty exciting. Neldo was 3/4 of an hour late, which made everyone a little bit nervous, but in the end we managed to move Big Red into his lancha with the help of a big excavator. The costs were $60 for the excavator and $20 for Neldo and his friends, so we actually made a pretty good deal. You christening the engine?
Well, he's still not so sure about his new home. I think I want to go back into my box. What's all these waves and the wind and trying to explain that this is its new job to save us from this, but so far it's a bit of a chicken. So the engine is on board, and as you can tell, the engine room is looking rather clean. It's only the first stage of cleaning. We have to do some more cleaning where we're gonna do the welding. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower the engine down, and then we build a little pipe system, temporary pipe system that we're gonna put here. And then we can put the engine on the pipe system and always like lift it and lower it and move it forward and backward. We have a lot of space.
the aluminum is expensive, we wanted to put the engine into place first to see if we could actually reach the shaft coupling with the transmission with the height that I had measured with my model before. It was quite the job to maneuver Big Red into Karl's belly, but we finally managed, and it seemed safe to cut the aluminum bars. Oh, and if you're wondering what Maria's doing here, her friend Kathy is looking after her boat Diana whilst she's lending me a well-needed hand to repower Karl. We were eager to cut the bars but only had one nearly used up cutting disc left, but we didn't want to go back into town, so I had to cut the last bit by hand.
Yay! Muscle power!
It looks like everything will work out as planned, and we're ready to haul out and do some welding. But more about that next week.